Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our first of two Ask Max sessions. Tonight, we're starting our February boot camp for LinkedIn and Facebook. Now, the beginning part of the month, we have been previewing actions that are producing immediate results that lead to sales on LinkedIn and Facebook. Follow the steps, and all of you are on your way to successfully building your business. So we're going to devote part of this session to hearing from you that are participating in the Zoom. What's holding you back? Right? What's holding you back? Yesterday, I was talking to a student that had invested $10,000 with a mindset coach. She was halfway through the program, and so I asked her, I says, what prompted you to spend that kind of money on a mindset coach? And she said, well, because I'm not having the success that I want. And so it's my mindset. It's belief. I don't necessarily believe that I can accomplish this. I self-sabotage my efforts. I'm not consistent. She listed about 4 or 5 different things. And it actually, when we were done, came down to one thing: activity. What is preventing you from reaching your goal? In our quarterly top earner retreats, we talk about why. Why are you doing this? Why did you get into network marketing in the first place? And now it comes down to what's holding you back. What is the biggest obstacle that you all face in trying to build your business? What is it? Because the biggest obstacle that keeps people from being successful in network marketing has always been a lack of people to talk to. So once you master the process that I've been teaching you, you can jump on Facebook, you can jump on LinkedIn. You have unlimited access to people. So what's holding you back? You know, when we talk about mindset, when you were born, you didn't know how to walk. You learned how to walk. Some of us learned to walk at a very early age. Some of us, it took a little longer. But we all learned how to walk. It's the same thing. If you knew that you could, with a profile on Facebook, with a profile on LinkedIn, you could connect with perfect prospects for your business. identifying in advance the people that clearly needed what you have. And the process was as easy as reaching into a bowl of candy and pulling out a green M&M. Or maybe to make it more relevant, you're going to the grocery store, you want to make a salad. And you want to pick out a ripe tomato for the salad. If you didn't know how to pick out a ripe tomato from an unripe tomato, it would only take you a couple of times and you'd figure it out. All right. So, who's going to tell me? What's holding you back? What is preventing you from being successful? And by the way, let me put in the chat. I love success stories. I try to include success stories in all of my broadcasts because I want to show you other people are doing this. You can do it too. All right. So I'm sending you a link. I'm working with somebody that has achieved success in business. That is Daryl Donnelly's Facebook link. Okay. And believe it or not, Daryl has never really been on social media. And so I'd appreciate it if you would send him a friend request on Facebook. All right. It's amazing how many things have changed. And literally to get him started quicker, send him a connection request. I'm sorry, a friend request, right? And I'm going to know who did, and I consider it a personal favor. All right. He's not going to try to sell you anything, and above all, don't try to sell him anything because he's working with me, and he's got a very, very specific goal. He's got a reason why he's doing this. And by the Labor Day weekend, he's going to have a pretty amazing story. So, talk to me. Why? What is holding you back? Okay. So, it's confusion of what I do and messaging. All right. let me pop over here. Okay, so let me unmute Richard.
Hey, good morning, Max.
Hey, good morning, Richard. So let's talk about, what's holding you back. Now, your profile on LinkedIn gives you status, gives you credibility with everybody that you could possibly want to talk to. All right. So you said it's confusion, what I do and messaging.
Max, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Okay. So I, I, I how do I explain this? I go out there and I use different methods. So I've talked with people online. I've talked with people face to face. For me, for some reason, it seems to work better when I talk face to face with people than talking online with people. I think I'm more scared to talk with people online. I don't know why. I just feel that when I'm speaking in terms of messaging, I feel somewhere there's a disconnect because I think it's a lot in my own head that you go through the trainings of what your company teaches you and then what you learn by other mentors. And you're like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing here? And then the other part of it is you see other networkers succeeding, but then they're leaving their companies and they're going other places. And then it's like there's no loyalty. And it's like, well, wait a minute, what the hell's going on here? You have a certain, are they in it for just the money? Because they're posting that they really care about people, that they really do this to help people. But by what they're doing, it doesn't look that way. And then people are coming to me and saying, yeah, I don't really buy that stuff. People ditch you and they go other places and, they're not happy with the company because of something else. And then they're here today, gone tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, I know that happens, but that doesn't happen with me. I stick. I'm loyal. I know the company I'm involved with is a very good company. It's just the messaging. Like, what do you do? It's like, on one hand, you're a recruiter. On another hand, you provide the service that you provide. Then you get confused as who the hell am I? And then when you're trying to talk to people, sometimes you try to share with people, hey, listen, I'm expanding a business and I was just wondering, do you keep your options open? I'd love to share what I do. And then you sit down with them and some people say, yeah, I'm definitely interested. And then you recruit them and you start working with them and then all of a sudden they disappear. And you've proven to them it works. You've proven them, you've shown them, but for some reason it's just, and I know I'm not the only one who goes through that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
it seems almost like a battle.
well, the way you're doing it's a battle.
Yeah.
Okay. First, let's address a couple of things.
Go ahead.
When you're talking to somebody face to face, okay, and they don't know you,
Right.
so they judge you by your appearance, subtle things. They could be check out your watch, ladies. They check out your shoes or purse. But when you're talking to somebody face to face, you don't have the backup of people already knowing who you are and what you're all about by looking at your profile. In listening to you describe how you're going about it, well, you just, said before, you're asking people, would they be open? You don't know anything about them. You don't know what their needs are. There's the, let me just start over. First of all, network marketing is a phenomenal opportunity for anybody that really wants to become successful. And we're talking about financially successful. To become financially successful. It's the only business out there that you could get started for a small investment. Small investment. And through learning how to do the business, you've got unlimited income with no ceiling. Now, unfortunately, what has happened over the years is that network marketing has earned a terrible reputation. See, when I got into network marketing, I didn't know anything about it. My divorce attorney introduced me to a network marketing business. Now, he knew I had previously been incredibly successful in a publishing company that I started in my living room, turned it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise. And then I got a divorce. Technology had changed. The internet had become something that was going to generate all kinds of competition for me. So I'm starting my life over. 50 years old, starting my life over. Wasn't happily married. Okay. So I did it all at once. Right? Now, the Spanish conquistador Cortez, when he came to Mexico to conquer the country, the story is he landed his army on the beach and then he burned his ships. And he told his officers, who told the soldiers, we are either going to conquer this country or we're going to die here. Die. Now, what happens quite often, what slows people down, and I've especially seen this for people that are doing network marketing part-time. You've got income coming in from your job. You're not terribly concerned that you don't make 3 sales this month. So the urgency to do it isn't there. The other thing is that there's nothing to stop you from talking to people when you're out and about. But it's all about how you talk to people. All right, the way you described it, you're reaching out to somebody, would you be interested in making some extra money if it didn't interfere with what you're currently doing? And so some people, but you don't know anything about them. You don't know what they do. So using that approach, and that unfortunately is what people are being taught. When I went to a company training given by one of the top earners in the company. I didn't know anything about this guy. I didn't know that he'd been in network marketing for 12 years. I didn't know that he'd been in 4 different companies. So when he came to our company, he brought hundreds of people with him from the other companies that he was with. I didn't know that stuff was going on. Didn't know. So here you are trying to build a business. And you have access to people online. You have access to people when you're out and about. You communicate with people online the same way you communicate with people face to face. You're not looking to make a sale. You're looking for the opportunity to make a sale. So when you're talking to anybody, the questions that you want to know is, what do I do? Or what do they do? What do they do? And now, when you think about it, 85% of the time, when you ask somebody what they do, they're going to come back and they're going to ask you what you do. Because they don't know you. They don't know what other questions to ask. But when they ask you what you do, it's not the time to go into a business presentation. Hey, I've got an internet business. Then you come back to learn more about them. And in the course of learning about them, you're going to learn what their needs are. You're going to learn, is there potential? Is there an opportunity that they have a problem that working with you, could solve? Now, there are certain professions, example, school teachers. There are certain professions that are naturally attracted to network marketing. So when you're talking to someone that's a nurse, example, and you're trying to learn more about her, and she's working, she's happy, again, it's just as simple to ask her, what prompted you, why'd you get into nursing in the first place? Another natural question to ask would be, after you found out how long she's been a nurse. Then an easy question to ask is, most of the nurses that I've met, that's low key, most of the nurses that I've met that have been in the field for as long as you have all gotten involved with a network marketing company to generate a side income. What companies have you worked with? A little stronger. Most of the nurses that I work with that have been in nursing for as long as you have generated extra income on the side by working with a network marketing company. What companies have you worked with, or what company are you working with now? And that's easy to do. Remember, if it was going to cost you $500 to sell somebody about the business, if you had to give them introduction to your business kit that was going to cost you $500, you would be very selective about who you gave it out to.
Right.
All right. So now, from the standpoint of knowing what to do, there's no easier way. Okay. We know that every day, all you have to do is you have to go to LinkedIn. You come up here and see who's joined your network or who wants to join your network, and come over here and you can see who has messaged you, who's accepted, who's answered questions. And you got notifications for what the people you're connected to are doing. So you have all kinds of opportunities to talk to people.
I guess my mistake was I was actually going into the reality of what I did in terms of financial services instead of keeping it generic to I have an internet business.
Well, okay. But If you're into financial services, okay, see, everybody's different. Sam in Australia had been a student of mine for 3 or 4 years. He's in financial services. Now, that's a different category of people, okay? People that are looking for an opportunity, people that have lost their jobs aren't necessarily interested in financial services unless maybe they're looking for a new career. But if you're looking for customers, number one, you want to be reaching out to people that have money, that are successful.
Right.
So it's a different animal. Once Sam understood the difference, I mean, in 3 weeks, he signed up 21 people. In 3 weeks, he's selling a $5,000 program. And a portion of those people would upgrade to $15,000. So it's all about knowing who to talk to. Now, you go, when you're out and about, you don't know anything about people. So it's some will, some won't. So what next? When you're trying to push the business. When I was building the network marketing business, I used to go out, before I went on the internet, I used to go out to all kinds of networking events to meet people.
There's nothing on your back. It was your card and mine expired or something.
Okay,
You want to call them back when you get off?
when I'm done.
They'll call you back if you want to use the phone.
Okay, so that's the deal. Now you mentioned something else. You know, you're with a company that you believe in. You're passionate about it. And so people come in, leaders leave, and you have to ask yourself, why would someone that is supposedly very successful in your business, why would they leave and go someplace else? Because it's very unsettling. And unfortunately, the days where people would join a company, and Mark Aronell used to teach, find a business you're passionate about, stay with it for 5 years, and you will generate a growing stream of residual income that you could retire on. Got to stay with the company. Well, over the years, that's changed because perfectly good companies with wonderful products have gone out of business. So what do you do when a company that you believe in, with your heart, with your soul, what do you do when things change and they shut down? I was only in one network marketing company, right? It was called the People's Network. It was a 24-hour-a-day TV channel. You needed a satellite dish to get through. And I've always been passionate about personal development. I've spent a lot of money on it. You know, we know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. And if it wasn't for what I was able to learn from buying books and listening to tapes, you know, I started a business in my living room and it turned into a multi-million-dollar business. I was not the same person 3 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later. You are not going to be the same person when you start growing your business. Okay, but there are certain fundamental things that you have to do on a daily basis if you want to be successful. All right.
Okay.
First and foremost, you got to be talking to people. You have to build a team. Now, there are some businesses that are easier to build than others. All right. If you're passionate about what you're doing, if you're passionate about the company that you're working with, well, my God, you got a bit 1 billion, 10 million people on LinkedIn. So you have choices as to who you're going to go out and talk to. It makes so much sense to be using LinkedIn specifically because you know so much about the other person. Now, the issue you're going to have that you're going to have to deal with, and now it comes down to belief. Belief that you can do this. And I'm telling you, if you learn how to walk, you can do it. Anybody can do this. Anybody.
Yeah, I believe I can do it. I believe in my company and I believe in network marketing 100%. I agree with that. My experience, because I've been in my own business before, and they're two different animals. When you go into your own business and you start your own company, that's your own blood, sweat, tears, and everything going into it. And you know what? When you go into your own business, you got a target on your back because you know what? There's people out there who want to take you down, your competitors. And then there's all sorts of other things that come into play, lawsuits and all this other stuff, because somebody's always trying to sue you over something. So you end up in all kinds of crazy stuff. And even though I loved my customers and my former business and everything, I just found it unbelievable the drudgery you had to go through to just stay in business. And I was doing that for 30 years. And I just realized, I said, you know what? Enough is enough. And then I just happened, it was by accident that I got into network marketing because I was actually transitioning out of my former business to get involved in self-improvement because I said, you know what? I need to change. I need to grow. I need to do something different.
Hmm.
And it was at that point that I just started learning. And then that's when I came across you a few years later. And I guess, it was just that I was not tech savvy. So some of that, I have to admit, I had some fears with that because I always kept thinking I was going to do the wrong thing or screw something up. And now you made that much easier in terms of teaching what you teach. So my belief is there in the company and it's just a matter of the right message and messaging. So I realized one of the things I'm making the mistake is I'm going into the business part of it first before I need to get more into the other person first and then transition to the other thing. So I guess I'm better off just focusing on internet business, know more about them. Don't go into the network marketing is the business of it so quickly and then transition around it.
Well, yes, but you in your explanation, you basically revealed what's holding you back. Okay. When you had your own business, okay, when you had your own business, you had a payroll, you had things that you absolutely had to do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now when you're involved in a network marketing business, it's a business. Okay. It's a business. And so
Yes.
every day, I mean, your financial security, your income on a monthly basis is going to be based on the number of people that you sign up and what they do. Now, when I got into network marketing, I said to my divorce attorney, how do I make money? Because frankly, I wouldn't even look at it if I couldn't make $3,000 a month. I said, whatever, don't tell me about the future. Don't tell me how two can morph into 4,096 people in a year if everything duplicates. I don't want to know about that. I want to know, what do I have to do? If it never duplicated, what do I have to do to earn $3,000 a month? All right. Why did I need $3,000? Because I owned a boat, and between my dockage, my maintenance for the boat, and that was my primary concern. And I figured, well, and my car payment was $3,000. I didn't want to have to dip into savings. Okay, I can, if I show me what do I have to do to make $3,000? And so when I signed somebody up in the business and I sold a particular package, I'm making $250. Sign up 4 people, I made 1,000. sign up 12 people in 1 month, I've got my 3 grand. Can I do that? I believed I could. So my goal every week was I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet 5 people a day. It's 25 people a week. And if I'm meeting the right people, I should be able to sign up 2 or 3 people out of 25. Well, I have confidence in the fact that I know how to sell. And selling is not about pushing a business opportunity. It's about listening and determining who these people are. You know, because you're not just looking to sell something, you're looking to bring somebody into the business that's going to be a partner, that is going to contribute, that's going to work alongside of you. You're building a team. So I needed to be selective. All right. And so it wasn't until I went on the internet that all the doors opened up for me. However, it wasn't until I learned that there were unhappy network marketers out there that enabled my business to explode. I went from 350, maybe 400 people to 7,000 people in 18 months by bringing in unhappy network marketers. And my team was doing it. But still, at the end of the day, how many people ask, you know, and this is for all, how many people did you talk to last month in January? How many people did you show the business to? How many people signed up? I mean, that's the bottom line. You have unlimited access to people. And the thing is, when we hear these stories about someone who says, hey, you know, I signed up 3 people last week. It wasn't like they went out, did a search, send someone a message, they started to talk, and they signed up in the business. This is a relationship business. You meet somebody, you make that connection, you're planting a seed. You know, for all of the time that you've been online. Now, I'm looking at your profile here. You got 53 connections.
Right.
On LinkedIn. Shame on you.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way.
Okay. So there's nothing, you know, even if you were only doing this, the barest minimum, 5 people a day, 25 people a week. That's 100 people a month. For as long as you've been doing this, you should have a minimum of 5,000 or 6,000 people. And the interesting thing is, some of the people that you connected with 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, things change. They end up coming back and getting into your business. I mean, every day, every single day that you're not devoting time to building your business, it's a lost day that you will never get back. So it starts with the basic activity of talking to people, enrolling them in your business. And for those of you, let me take a look at some of the folks that are here. See, you know what you know. You
Right.
don't know what you don't know. And so the fact that, well, I don't know how to build a team. I don't know all of the things that I need to know to be a leader. Baloney. Baloney. You know, if you've been in your company for any length of time, you know more about your company than people who don't. All right? You know more about network marketing and your belief. And that's the other thing. Your belief in network marketing has got to be rock solid. Right? That's one of the things we talk about in the retreat. When you get into a company, you're betting on management. You're betting on market forces. Some wonderful companies with great products have crashed, burned. All right. So what do you do if that happens? You find another company. Only when you go to another company, you don't go by yourself. You bring members of your team. You bring other people in your company. I mean, if you want to be successful in this business, you have to believe it, and then you have to act every day. You have to immerse yourself in this. Totally immerse yourself. Okay? If you've only got a couple of hours a day to do it, a couple of hours a day, you do it. Okay? You put things aside and you devote all your effort and energy into talking to people, meeting people, and you got to be focused. You got to
Yeah,
be.
I think that was part of the problem. I think my focus was I was doing too many things, juggling too many other things that were just taking my eye off the ball. And that was another thing that was costing me. So now that's why I'm getting reacclimated into it, because that did cost me time.
And I hear from students, they start doing this, and then they get distracted because somebody else showed them, oh, you can do this, or you can do this, or you can do that, and you take your eye off the ball. Where you all are going to be at the end of May for the Memorial Day weekend. So we have March, April, May. Got 90 days. Where you're going to be at the end of May is going to be determined by how many people you talk to, how many people you enroll. Okay? Now, if you're not enrolling 2 people a month, then you have to look at what am I doing wrong? Am I reaching out to the wrong people? Most of the time, you're reaching out to the wrong people. Okay? So the more you do this, the better you get at identifying the right people. You can pick 3 or 4 different categories of people that you feel comfortable talking to, that you have credibility with. And how do you get credibility? By what you post. But your profile is the foundation for establishing credibility. What you post, what you put out there for people to look at. On my Ask Max question, on my Ask Max sessions, I'm encouraged to go in and look at people's accounts. Max, I'm having a problem talking to this one, having a problem talking to this one. Now, the process is you send an initial message. Then when you're accepted, you send a second message. We call it the icebreaker. And then the third message to start a conversation is you send some kind of an uplifting motivational image along with explanation. And I send these out to my friends on a regular basis. I hope you like them. And then you use that to start a conversation. I can't believe how many times during these Ask Max sessions, I'll look at a conversation. Where is that? What happened to that simple message? It's a simple thing to do. All right. Well, why'd you leave it out? Well, they started a conversation or they asked me a question. Sending that message, that image, differentiates you from other people. All right. Most of the time, people are already getting pitched after the first or the second message. But then it comes down to conversation. If you ask somebody a question and they don't answer it, no, that's not the end of it. If you feel that this person is a potential prospect, then we share the things that we're posting. We engage them in conversations, asking them other questions. You judge the nature of the relationship you have with people by how much they communicate. Okay? This is a relationship business. I look at some of my coaching students that I work because they're coming back. Every week I'm hearing from coaching students that some of them, I just got a big batch of them that the last time we worked together was in 2014. That's 10 years ago. Well, LinkedIn was nothing back then to what it is today. You want to be successful in this business, first and foremost, you have to believe that, well, you got to believe in your company. Okay. You gotta believe in it to the point that you tell people about it, even if you weren't getting paid. If you don't believe in what you're doing 100%, then find something that you can believe in 100%.
No, I believe in it. I think it's just, I've got to stay committed, make it a habit, and stay focused on what you're sharing. And
Well,
I've just wrongfully and unfortunately just let other things distract me from doing things on a consistent basis.
right. Listen, I remember I don't remember how many years ago it was that we worked together, in coaching. And I mean, I love you. I mean, you've been following me for years, but the one thing, that I'll tell you, you weren't consistent.
Yeah, and I know that.
Other things, get in your way. Okay. And you allow those things to get in your way. When I had my publishing company, I had a woman, best salesperson I ever had. She worked for me for 14 years. And one day she was phenomenal on the telephone. I mean, she was a closer. And one day she comes into my office and she says, I want to thank you. I said, okay. Why? She says, I'm very close to my father. My father has terminal cancer. He's going to die. And you have no idea. You can't even begin to believe what that's doing to me. It's destroying me. Okay. But when I come to work and I walk through that door for 8 hours, I leave that outside and I get to talk to people. I get to interact with people, my coworkers. I'm closing sales for people. Everybody loves me because every time I close a sale, somebody else has made a commission. But I shut all of that out for 8 hours, and it's saving me. I can talk about focus. Okay, you all have to ask yourself, why are you doing this? Why? How?
Yeah, you just shed a big light on there, because that's really the thing. I've always put myself last on the totem pole, and because so many situations have come up where, unfortunately, like I got a sister now who just got a real serious cancer situation, and she needs my help and all this other stuff. So I got to help with that and all this other stuff. And I'm like, you feel like you're being torn in like 9 million different places, and it's like it just never ends.
Yes, you're absolutely, you're right. It never ends. And it's never going to end. There is always going to be something that comes up that is going to pull you in another direction. Okay, always. It's never going to change. So what you have to do, again, it comes down to, Jim Rohn said it, you got to, treat it like a business.
Yeah.
You got to treat it like a business. Okay. Yes.
I think I was treating it more like a hobby than a business.
Well, and that's the problem that a lot of people have that have salaries coming in from their regular jobs. So, okay, if I don't do this, it's okay. I'll do it tomorrow. When I was building my business, I had to have 25 new contacts by Friday. If I had 25 new contacts by Friday, I could take the weekend off. But if by Friday or Thursday, I had 15 or 16, then I was working on the weekend. Okay. I mean, I got to have 25 people that I can be talking to. And again, I'm I'm learning more about the people. And when I know enough about them to determine, do they have the skills that I'm looking for, because I'm looking for team member. I'm just not looking to make a sale. I'm looking long term. So that's the same thing for all of you. Now, if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel confident that you can do this, then you just need to practice, because anybody can do this.
Yeah, I believe that, and I have the confidence. I have no doubt about that. I think it's just like we were saying. I let things get in the way, and stuff does get in the way, but you shed a good light on something which helped me, because now at least what I can do is I can shift that mentality, and I could still take care of stuff. But then where I could also is when I have to do certain things, because you just get called by family members, and I get it now, because people always rely on me. They know I can help them. They know I will help them, and I do. And they know I love them, and I know they love me. But at the same time, instead of me, what I normally do, Max, is I always leave my work at my office, in my house, because I have an area in my home that's set up as my office. I got to start taking that portable with me too. So when I leave, I got to take it with me instead of making it a hobby. It's my business. Because if I was in my former business, I'd have to tell people, I'm sorry, I can't do it, because my office was in New York. I had to stay there. It wasn't portable.
Yep. Yep.
So
And
you got me to realize that.
you know, it's how do you plant a garden? One seed at a time. Okay. And learning to walk, it's the same thing. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. Okay. I got people here that last year were in 10 boot camps. Every month they come back. And every month they're learning a little something new, but every month they're reaching out to people. They're following the process. Every month they're getting better. If something doesn't work out with a person, you know, you can go back and you could look at, why didn't this person buy? Most of the time, it's because you shouldn't have showed them the business in the first place. You're showing people the business.
Right.
Okay. So at the end of the day, it's okay. So Arlene, the things that you're concerned about, it's important to be concerned about them, for sure. But the only way that you are going to solve that problem, the only way that you're going to be able to make serious money in your network marketing business is to engage and do it. Talk to people. Talk to people. Now, it's not just about talking to people. It's about moving, learning enough about the other person so that now, with confidence, you can show someone the business because you know enough about them so that you can show them how working with you is going to solve their problem. So we're only talking to people about the business that we know have a need, that we know based on their experience can really be successful. You know, during these Ask Max sessions, I'm looking at conversations that people are having, and I'm saying to myself and I'm saying to them, why are you talking to this person? With 1 billion, 10 million people, with 140 million people with open to work frames around their picture, why are you talking to someone that, yes, she's looking for work? What's her background? She's a clerk. She's a clerk. Why not talk to somebody that has the desire, someone that's got maybe an entrepreneurial background? The bottom line is you're all going to pick out the people that you want to talk to. That's why, you know, 2 years ago, you know, Richard, before, you know, when you went through my coaching program, it was different than what I do now. And,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you know, primarily because we would come back and all right, so it's been a couple of weeks. let's look at who you're talking to. Let's see what you're doing. And now it's different. Now what I do is in a very, very structured format. Okay, once we get the profile set up, then every week they need to be reaching out to X number of people. I come back the following week and I go back into their account and says, look, who are you talking to? Where are these conversations? And we do it initially together. Okay, you send out the first message, you send out the second message, and then I'm going to come in and you're going to watch me write to your prospect. Now, after you've watched me do it a couple of times, you're going to understand how to move conversations forward.
Makes sense. Yeah. And then I think a good part of it too is accountability.
Yeah. And sometimes I had a staff meeting the other day and we were talking about, I've made attending my boot camps so inexpensive that people, they jump in, but, the urgency isn't there for them. Now, I'm not going to raise my price because I'd rather have people know this than follow in the footsteps. There's so many people in this business that are being taught the wrong things. There's so
I
many,
agree.
okay? And it doesn't have to be that way. So again, for all of you, you have to ask yourself, why are you in this business? If you really, number one, you got to treat it like a business. Number two, you got to show up for work every day. All right. There are certain things that you need to do. If something happens and family comes first for sure, then the least thing that you could do is pop on for 30 minutes, post some things. So keep yourself in front of the people that you're connected to. But there is, and I have the pleasure of being able to look at people in network marketing that started where all of you are, and you're all at different levels, who are the top earners in their companies. Now, some of them are the top earners in the companies that they started with. Several of them have gone to other companies. Okay? Because again, there's all kinds of reasons. All kinds of reasons. All right? And but the bottom line is, A, you got to treat it like a business, and B, you have to learn how to talk to people.
Well, then that's the beauty of this, Max, and what you just shared with me, because then that's the decision I just made. I'm making that shift, that commitment, because it's funny you just brought up what you said about these people who were successful, because I look at successful people in my business and they're making a ton of money, and I'm looking at it and I'm saying, holy cow, I know I'm 10 times better than them.
Right.
I know it.
Exactly.
So I'm going to focus on that consistency, commitment, and treat it as a business. I'm going to put my mentality to the mentality I had when I had my former business, treat it that way. And I think that's what I needed. I think I needed that kick in the butt to make that switch. And I think that's really good advice.
Well, treat it like a business, and it will take care of you. It will take care of everybody that you love. It'll take care of your family. And you just have to be aware, like you would if it was a business.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I was handling everything else, but neglecting my business.
Yep.
I need to turn it around. I need to focus and not neglect everything else, but just incorporate it to make it work. And I got to start using like a block schedule to keep me accountable.
Absolutely. So this turned out to be an interesting, let me come back over here.
You're awesome, Max.
Well, Richard, you're awesome. Okay, you're awesome. I mean, with all the things that you've accomplished before, okay, in your previous business, you just have to divert that energy divert that effort into what you're doing now. And in no time at all. No.
Well, that's why we need a coach like you, because I'm telling you, it's so easy to get diverted. And man, it's amazing how your mind can get so away from what you're doing, and you don't want it to happen. It just happens. But you need that coach in you to get you right on track.
Yep. Yep. So, folks, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in boot camp tonight at 4 o'clock. We're going to have another session like this. So for those of you that are students, or for those of you that are not students, for those of you that are just getting started, I want you to think about, why did you get into this business in the first place? But more importantly, that what is holding you back? You didn't quit when you were learning how to walk. When you decided that you wanted to learn how to drive a car, you did what it took to learn how to drive a car. It's the same thing. It's not hard. And like you heard Richard say, he looks at some of the people that are top earners in his business. That's what I did. I looked at some of these people and I'm saying to myself, God, if this person could do it, I can do it. What did they have on me? They had time. What did they have on me? Is they were connected to people in former network marketing companies that they were with. What did I learn? And I didn't learn it until my 3rd year because nobody talks about this. There are seasoned network marketers out there, leaders that know nothing about social media. I have one of my students, Francisco. He started 3 years ago. He's got 500,000 people in his business now. 500,000. He's recruited 36 seasoned, experienced network marketers from other companies, brought them into the business. They built the business. Until next time, my friends, best of luck in building your business. God bless.
Thank you, Max.